It's 50 days to the presidential and parliamentary elections here in Ghana. Hello and welcome to Joy News Prime with me, Carlos Kaloni. We're live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 125, all social media handles and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Our headlines this hour. Supreme Court stays execution of decision by Speaker of Parliament to declare 4-seat vacant, restoring the NPP as the majority in Parliament. We have details of a busy day that started from Parliament and ended at the Supreme Court. Also, one dead as 7 others battle for their lives after a local security group guarding a Galamsey site opened fire into a Galamsey pit at Nyamiadom in the Ahafua South-West district of the Ashanti region. And collective hunger strike declared by members of Democracy Hub in protest of poor conditions in cells, coupled with treatment meted out to them by the police.
The undersigned individuals who are currently detained in police custody writes to notify you and the police hierarchy of our decision to declare a 3-day hunger strike beginning from 6 a.m. Friday.
Now, the Supreme Court of Ghana has unanimously put on hold the decision by Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, to declare 4 seats vacant. The Speaker made that decision yesterday, but barely 24 hours after that, that decision no longer is in force. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kwekwa Santi, who is also a member of our Legal Affairs Desk, joins us with more. We will come back to have that discussion, but so let's look at what has been happening in court today.
We call upon the good people of Ghana to condemn the conduct of Mr. Speaker and then the NDC minority. And it was very rich. It was very rich to hear Dr. Forson immediately proclaiming to be a majority leader. In fact, Mr. Speaker himself, in spite of doing their bidding, fell short of declaring them to be the majority, in spite of all. And then he still found space to address me as majority leader and still address him as minority leader. But again, they further exposed themselves, because immediately after, their flag bearer was on a campaign platform claiming that God has given them the majority status. Is that how God grants majority status on individuals who are full of mischief, vicious, and evil? What they did was evil. What they did in Parliament yesterday was evil. NDC does not believe in democracy. They believe in chaos. And we are law-abiding citizens. We in the MPP are Democrats. We believe in the rule of law, and that is why we calmly left the chamber for them. And we know that if we make our case well in court, the court will make a determination that would advance the cause of democracy.
Now, Kweku, I believe there was a response from the minority. What was it?
Well, yes, we heard from the deputy whip on the minority side, who then was actually the majority, Ahmed Ibrahim, who really fired back, insisting that the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, had done nothing wrong and had only sought to apply the provisions in the Constitution, and that this argument that they should have waited for the Supreme Court was a non-starter. And for them, the Speaker of Parliament was well within his right to have made that ruling.
He said the notice of pull by the Electoral Commission is out, and the pictures of those 4 MPs are there. They have changed their status. And based on that, there is automatic cessation. If you listen to the Constitution very well, it's a member of Parliament shall vacate his seat if he leaves the party based upon which he came to Parliament at the time of his election into that Parliament. So at the time of Kojo Asante's election to Parliament of Ghana, he was MPP member. And therefore, he must remain MPP member until 6 January 2025. At the time, Apia and the Asiama, MPP, an independent member for Fomena, was filing his nomination to come to Parliament in 2021. He came as an independent member for Fomena, and therefore within the 4-year mandate, his status must not change. Have their status changed or not? It has changed. And the Speaker says that that article was put into the Constitution to be able to protect the loyalty of the members of Parliament to their constituent. So if you have come and you have changed your loyalty, should they still allow you to be there? So clearly, we don't need to belabor this. And I don't think even a professor, Professor Wayoseni, got it wrong. And you don't need a professor to tell you this. It's as clear as that. So I don't think the Speaker got it wrong. The political parties, if not politics that they are doing, are aware of the consequences. And that is why they always defer primaries in those constituencies that they are massaging. If not, why is it that in January they didn't open nominations in Fomena?
Now, Kweku, let's talk about happenings in court today. What was the response of the majority leader after the ruling? Well,
so this matter eventually did end up at the Supreme Court. And in fact, some persons have expressed surprise that the court convened so fast on a Friday to hear this matter. But let's get into the specifics. The court was presided over by the Chief Justice herself, Madam Gertrude Tokono. The other members of the panel were Justice Kwame Adibo Asiedu, Justice Yao Dakwasari, Justice Ernest Yaogayewu, and Justice Mariam Owusu. They formed the 5 members of the panel. And the lawyers for Alexander Afenyo-Markin, who was the plaintiff and applicant in this matter, was Pakwesi Abedu. Okay. It must be put on record that this was an ex-parte application. What this means in law is that the court heard only from Alexander Afenyo-Markin and his lawyers, Pakwesi Abedu, because the other parties were not in court. And they were not in court not because they didn't attend, but because the application was short-served, and ex-parte applications are in such a way that the court will hear only from the persons who are seeking specific release or who are making the application before the court. So this was an ex-parte. The court did ask lawyer Pakwesi Abedu, lawyer for Richard Alexander Afenyo-Markin, why he had come by way of ex-parte. He explained that there were key business in Parliament that would be hampered if the status quo remained. That is, the ruling of the Speaker remained. A lot of business will be hampered because the governing party side will not be able to push through their business. And then they went on to make a point that the NDC were seeking to gain political advantage with all that was happening. But the court, through Mariam Owusu, did point out that, listen, this is a court, we are not interested in the politics of this. Can you argue law? And then he went on to talk about the fact that the ruling of the Speaker or the decision of the Speaker denied the constituents in Fomena, in Agona West, in Suhum, and Amenfi Central their right of representation in Parliament. So he makes that point. He then goes ahead to make the point that the Speaker, by that decision he made yesterday, usurped the original exclusive jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. And then he goes on to talk about the steps being taken by the MPs does not amount to cross-carpeting, because the point was made by the Speaker of Parliament that by the conduct of these MPs, they had cross-carpet. The Speaker's, the Supreme Court, and the argument that was made at the court by lawyer Pakwesi Abedu for Alexander Afenyo-Markin was that that did not amount to cross-carpeting. The Chief Justice asked Pakwesi Abedu at the time, were these persons heard? Because the rule of natural justice was so paramount. It was the Chief Justice asking Pakwesi Abedu this question. The Pakwesi Abedu says, no, these persons were not heard. That is when Mariam Owusu comes again, that this is your strongest point. We expect that you will be canvassing this point of natural justice before the court and not the political tangent that you sought to go on earlier. And then that point was made about natural justice. And then he then prayed the court to then actually stay the ruling of the Speaker of Parliament until the full determination of the matter. But just before the court will recline and go and prepare his ruling and come back, the Chief Justice then asked the lawyer whether or not this application had been served on the Speaker. And then he did indicate that yes, the court bailiff did try to do that, and the legal directorate of Parliament did not want to receive it. Mind you, there has been a circular from the Chief Justice that when you want to serve the Speaker of Parliament, you need to serve him only on Mondays. That is the basis on which reason the staff office, the staff in Parliament did not want to receive the document. But that document was thrown at them.
Okay.
And the Chief Justice then made the point that throwing the document at these persons was effectively service. So Pakwesi Abedu then was asking the Supreme Court, because it was coming by way of an interim injunction, to grant a 10-day injunction, after which they will come on notice. This time around, they will come, and then an opportunity will be given to the Speaker of Parliament and the other persons to also come and defend themselves in court. So that is the application they made. Then the court did recline to come and prepare their ruling and came back. The court then said that they had read the affidavits and all the issues that came up. They really believe these are really important matters, for which reason they need to intervene and actually give their in fact, the wording of the Chief Justice was reading the ruling was that they appreciate the urgency and special circumstances of this case, and that denying the constituents the right to representation was not right, pending the determination of this matter. And that they said that the case raises real and fundamental issues. And then they proceeded to grant the application to stay this ruling by the Speaker of Parliament. But like I told you...
For the 10 days, right?
Well, that is where it gets interesting. Pakwesi Abedu asked for 10 days. The Supreme Court said, no, 10 days is not enough. They're going to give you more than that. So the court says they are staying the execution of that decision by the Speaker of Parliament until the full determination of the matter. So they are not going to give room for 10 days, come back and all that.
So what happens within that period in Parliament?
So between now and when the full determination of this case is made, these MPs will be expected to come to Parliament, and that is the order. In fact, the order of the Supreme Court was that the defendants should be, these MPs should be allowed to actually come and perform their duties, and that the ruling of the Speaker has been stayed. And the court says, because they want to deal with this matter expeditiously, within 7 days, the Speaker of Parliament and the Attorney General should file their statement of case, and then after that, all the parties in 7 days must also file their memorandum of understanding for the case, the issues to be set down. Majority Leader, whose majority is no longer in doubt, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, did speak to journalists after the court ruling. Here is what he had to say.
Well, this is MPP. The founders of our tradition use the court to do full right. And true to it, we are Democrats. We don't believe in violence. We don't believe in mischief and unnecessary political chaos. We came to court believing that the court will do right. And indeed, the court has just done that. The rights of those MPs have been reinforced, as well as the rights of those constituents who elected them. I will leave the Ghanaian public to peruse the full ruling of the court, and then the discussions can continue. But let me thank my colleagues in leadership, especially the hardworking Majority Chief Whip, for all the support and his industry. I thank senior members of Parliament, Uncle Joe Gatti, Honorable Kennedy Japan, not the least Uncle K.T. Hammond, and others who have been supporting me. Again, equally important are my colleagues in the backbench, especially those who lost their primaries. They've been with us thick and thin. The whole of last night we didn't sleep. We've been working all night. I myself, being a practitioner of our courts, made sure we put together a solid case. And this afternoon, we've had justice. Now, those NDC people who are, walking all over the place, proclaiming, if they know the law, they should now face us in the law. This is the Majority Leader speaking.
Meanwhile, earlier today, Minority Leader in Parliament, now Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin, launched an attack and made unfounded claims against the Joy brand. In response, senior news editor and head of our political desk, Evans Mensah, has been clarifying the MP's assertions, setting the record straight.
When you have the Minority Leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, make confounded accusations against the media organization that I represent, obviously, you cannot be happy. But the point about his issue, and it started yesterday, fundamentally says that we should not describe him as the Minority Leader. Let's be clear. Alexander Afenyo-Markin is the Minority Leader as we speak. The MPP is the minority party in parliament as of today. The NDC is the majority party in parliament as of today. Case Dr. Forson is the majority leader as we speak today. And that is very clear on the face of what had been decided by the speaker yesterday. That's what it is. And Alexander Fenyo-Marking is wrong in questioning our reporting of the facts as we all saw play out in the full glare of this country on national television as did by the Speaker of Parliament. We can only report that. There is a contest over whether it was constitutional or not. That contest will be decided by the Supreme Court. That is not our domain as journalists. We will have to report what has happened in Parliament. Parliament is the master of his own rules. When the Speaker did it in 2020, it was a law in Parliament. Speaker has done it today, it's a law in Parliament, and we can only report that fact. And so, to repeat the point, Alexander Fenyo-Marking is wrong to question our report and to accuse us of being mischievous. We're not mischievous.
Are we taking any
when he was in Parliament then, as one of the leaders in 2020, and this happened, he was happy with that decision at the time. Now, of course, things is flipped because you have a hung Parliament, and it has implications for your ability to hold on to your majority position. And of course, I understand. It takes us personally because, of course, you are the leader at the time when this has been taken. So you understand why he is unhappy about the outcome. But what he cannot do is to tell the journalist not to report the fact.
Meanwhile, earlier today, there's been reactions from some of the constituents of the areas affected by the Speaker's earlier ruling. First decision, resident of Agona West in the central region, where Cynthia Morrison has also been affected. Let's take a look at what they have been saying.
How Niamani Nukadanda and I say Abato Agona West. And I'm saying, Obiara, Office, Sabi, where you Yasia, and Yasi Bianiji. They see how you saw where Yasi or Mapamiki Yasi, a Yasi, into Obaya then when you Yasi Biani, into the idea how young Ayate Tema Agona West, already and Punto and Kankono, a Bessaniti. Idea saying I am Agona Maitu Pono, and Yadi Benebu, and I'm saying, you're a member of Parliament, Obaka Per. The People's Parliament, Abagona Western, Oma Pamano, Yemi MPP, the idea, how I do it.
And Yasem Park, and so Abanadin Abba, and I said there were Yinima, as I assure me, because they are Papa Fasta, and Tinawas and Abasabasa, Yabaya, Amasisia, Yawaha Union, Nessie Adeniama to you, said the Yabina. Openibia, Obetumi with the Year, and fear way into me in Cobanisi. Which is see another. My and a shiny Abashin, but where I be between Padima, Obedu, and I say, a Kosoma, Abuna West constituency, the Tumap, about to natural. But I don't know what's it mean. Yes, sure, say. You quite say, Obetum, and I speak of Parliament, when you quite Obetum declare, say, a year vacant. Sana is an entity to offer them say, no quite will be declared as vacant, say, Aguna West, and I said, for Mena, and whatever it is, and your vacant. I don't know, send a woman goes to work Canada, any else you go to a team, and say, if they will declare, say, or only a vacant there, still I go to a year, Juma. Nobody piano, supporting me, Jumana Apaso. Oh, instead, I'm not sure, say, or how to my back, because we are more or less 1 month to election, or less than 2 months to election. I don't think so.
We can also hear from residents of Fomina in the Ashanti region.
I know that CJHS, I make my copy, and we get access. It's a toilet on a Bayama, so we tune a Bamia. A quiet who are hiding now, Ryan and again, so we tune a Bamia, or be, we tune a Bamia, really pay for us.
Because Papa no boy, you want to be our Baha, the Union,
nneɛma ɔyɛ ma yɛ ne yɛho bie ɔyɛ nneɛma bebree wama yɛ nsuo ɔyɛ yɛ kwan yɛ street nyinaa ɔyɛ yɛ ma yɛ papa no deɛ wama yɛ nkora nyina nyɛ adwuma yɛ papa no deɛ ɛte sɛ yɛyi na akonnwa si nkyɛn no ɛha yɛ paa me a megyina ha yi deɛ ɛha me paa sɛ mpanimfoɔ nyɛ mmoa no sɛ wɔn mo nyaa no mo ɔnyɛ n'adwuma wɔn mo nyaa no nso no so wɔn so wɔn mo nyaa yɛ deɛ yɛbɛsa gyina independence no biem ama papa no asa aba yɛbɛsa gyina dadwen yɛbɛgyina ama papa no asa aba wɔso wɔyɛ nnwuma a ɔyɛ so yɛ ni
wo fira kwan so be ham bebre papa no bi ka so wa mo nya wo boa ya papa okuro yi mu me hu mpipia wa ba ma wa ye nnwuma se sa papa no da to bi go je me ka se ye ni papa ni tinchen ba ko di ntro wa boa ye ya se no wo ya papa ye ka ana ya mo ni so ye ka me dia lo ya do ba boa ye e ja konya no wo ta de be sa to ama me to ama
it one just one co independent na so
okay once uncle no nya pipi na mu ma ye fe no ye be to ama no.
You're watching Joy News Prime with me, Carlos Caloni. We'll take a short break. We'll return with more. Please stay. Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. One woman has been reported dead and 6 others have sustained gunshot wounds after a member of a local security group guarding a Galamsey site opened fire into a Galamsey pit at Nyamiado in the Ahafo southwest district of the Ashanti region. Sources indicate that the women were working in the pit when the incident occurred. Reports suggest that the guard attempted to fire a warning shot to disperse the women, but the shot went astray. In response, angry residents of the town have burned an excavator belonging to the illegal miners. Let's go on Zoom to speak to my colleague, Erastus Asari Donko. Erastus, what more can you report about this, developing situation?
Quite a tragic story this evening, but we can confirm the facts we have this evening. One person has died. She is a 17-year-old girl. She died on the spot. We understand that she was very close to where the gun was fired, and so she died instantly. 2 others whose conditions are very serious have been referred to the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. 5 others are being managed at the Mankranso District Hospital as we speak. And as you said in your lead, we understand that the indigents have burnt 1 excavator and a number of equipment belonging to the Chinese miners. This Galamsey site, we understand, is owned by some Chinese miners, and they employed the Ghanaians as security, as though they've given them pump action guns to protect the site.
All right, so do we know if police have gone to the area as we speak and if any arrests have been made so far?
We have tried the lines to the Mankranso District Police. We have not been successful in getting them. Okay. But from our sources within the police service, we are learning that, yes, the police is aware of it, but as we speak, there has not been any arrests so far. Okay,
we know you've also been speaking with some local authority persons in the community. What have they been telling you about this situation, whether calm has returned to the town or not?
Well, so I have been speaking with Mr. Nkansa Felix, who is the assembly member for the area, and he confirms the information I have given to you, but he says that the Chinese are the ones who own the site. Yes, the youth got agitated and they burnt down the equipment. Currently, as we speak, he's saying that they've been able to bring the situation under control, but there's so much anger and emotions running wild within the Nyamiadom community close to Mankranso in the Ahafo southwest area. So by tomorrow, we will be able to at least get to the site, get more information, and perhaps get our viewers pictures. The pictures we have are too gory to be shown on TV.
We're grateful to you, Erastus Asaridonko, for giving us details about this developing story. In a related development, a Canadian NGO supporting rural women in agricultural communities has identified illegal mining, or galamsey, as a significant economic threat to women in cocoa farming. Samuel Apentin, an agricultural risk management specialist for Sokodevi, explained that many women in rural areas have seen their cocoa farms destroyed by illegal miners. He also noted that securing labor to help with their farming activities has become increasingly difficult. Joseph Obin reports.
At a day about to commemorate the 2024 International Rural Women's Day at Dumpasi in the Adansi North District, some of the farmers shared experiences of how their lives have been affected by galamsey.
Ye cocoa no ye duano. Ebi abekono no mo de sa omo tracks no. Akwa fo no mo de apia anwea no.
The cocoa plants are affected by the trucks they use to degrade the earth. Even the waters we use to water our cocoa plants are destroyed, and it is affecting we the women who farm. We rather have to take water from our houses to the farm, and that makes us tired. The activities of galamseyers have severely impacted our communities, causing devastating environmental degradation. Our water bodies have been polluted, and the roads leading to our farms have been destroyed.
The day was celebrated under the theme, The Empowered Rural Woman, a Healthy and Prosperous Community. The aim is to empower about 3,000 women above age 36 and some thousand youth between the ages of 18 to 35 at the end of the project period. The agricultural risk management specialist for Sokodevi, Samuel Apenting, said women play enormous community roles and provide support for a number of families, so their livelihoods should be protected.
Yeah, the Together project of Sokodevi is basically supporting women. The challenges that the farmers are facing are climate risk, financial risk, and then market risk, and also even human risk. Because of galamsey, most of the farmers do not get labor to work in their cocoa farms. Most of the youth in these communities are embarking on galamsey such that they cannot even get labor to work on their farms. And as a result of that, it's being impacted on the cocoa. Apart from the lack of labor that these farmers are experiencing, galamsey is also spoiling their farms and the water that they even need to embark on their farming activities.
Gender equality facilitator for the project, Lillian Kutiru, said women are being taken through leadership development, building entrepreneurial skills and supported with startup assistance.
With the Together project, which we are working with cocoa farmers, 1, to improve the cooperative system, 2, get women to be more involved in the cooperative system, 3, address environmental challenges and also address agri-risk management issues there. You will see that gender is a mainstreaming issue in all of them. And we are targeting 3,500 women out of this project, of which we should have a substantial amount of youth also benefiting from it.
Joseph Obens reports for Joy News.
Now, starting today, October 18 through Monday, October 21, inmates at the striking force cell at the Accra Regional Police Command have begun a hunger strike, protesting poor conditions and the police's failure to provide food. They urge all Ghanaians to join by fasting this Sunday in solidarity as Democracy Hub protesters stand in full support of the protest. At a press conference, Democracy Hub members revealed that although Oliver Baka-Vormawor has been granted bail, the police have yet to finalize his release. In solidarity with the inmate, he has chosen to remain in custody and will continue to do so even after his release is processed.
We, the undersigned individuals who are currently detained in police custody at the Accra Regional Police Command cells, write to notify you and the police hierarchy of our decision to declare a 3-day hunger strike beginning from 6 a.m. Friday, the 17th of October 2024, to 6 a.m. Monday, the 21st October 2024. Our collective action has become necessary because despite several years of our complaints and public advocacy pointing to the inhumanity of arresting and detaining human beings under slave-like conditions, the Ghana Police Service has chosen the further inhumanity of refusing to feed these inmates. But as we're speaking now, we're telling you that the police is not completed with their processes, and in solidarity, Oliver has chosen that even when it is completed, he would want to remain with the inmates to complete this very exercise before he goes out.
Now, Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, AICPA, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental, Wellness and Beauty, Chobox Technologies, a convenient service, and Youth Breed Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. And this evening, the Alan Chirmanton's Movement for Change has intensified its campaign efforts as the team embarked on a tour of part of the Greater Accra region. The campaign tour is part of the team's broader strategy to build momentum across the country. The team's visit to key constituencies in the Greater Accra region has seen them visit various groups, including local business owners, traditional leaders, and youth organizations to outline Alan Chirmanton's policies and the core objectives of his movement for change. The following report has more.
Day 2 of Movement for Change campaign tour of the Greater Accra region is in full swing, and the team began the campaign from Kwabenya, went through some principal streets of Accra and other markets of the capital, and they're selling their message of change, confident that Alan Chirmanton is the right man to lead Ghana going into these elections. And two leading members of the party, Nano Hininto and Hobson Nadoye, are hopeful of victory.
So far, very good, I should say, because we took off this morning from the Dome Kwabenya end, and the response that I'm seeing along the route, this basically is a meet and greet and whistle stop kind of campaign. Even when you are on the move and there are people in their shops, people standing by the roadside, and they, as soon as they hear the Afro-Franto music, they begin to give you the sign of change, and they begin to give you the sign of Asiaho.
Oh, it's going on well, and when we started, I mean, because of the drizzling, it was very slow, but after Ashoma village, we got to Kwabenya market, you could see the momentum gathering, and then all throughout to this race, I can tell you it has been very fantastic, and we are praying that it continues that way. We are optimistic that we are going to make a history in this country. I mean, everybody in this country will be shocked that we did not see Alan organizing big rallies and the rest. How come did you get this vote?
Well, it's been 2 intense days of campaigning in the Greater Accra region, led by leading members of the Movement for Change. They're selling their message to the people of the capital and beyond that Alan Chirmanton represents the hope that Ghanaians are yearning for. But will that be enough for him to be elected in December? Ghanaians will decide on the 7th of December. Kenneth Jesse for Joy News.
Now let's switch come to the NPP, where its flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has announced plans to launch a credit scoring system in November, aimed at easing the economic challenges faced by Ghanaians. He stated that the system would enable citizens to make purchases on credit, thus boosting consumer purchasing power. During his tour of the Senate East District in the Bono region, Dr. Bawumia also pledged to establish agricultural mechanization centers nationwide to improve agricultural productivity in the next NPP administration. There's more in the following report.
The atmosphere was electric as jubilant supporters gathered to welcome the NPP's flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, during his tour of numerous communities in the Senate East District of the Bono region. Speaking to a crowd of chiefs and party loyalists, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia announced plans to launch a credit scoring system next month aimed at easing the country's economic hardship.
Adie miensa ehia say yembe credit system no yede atu from ewa Ghana. Enti enche bia either this month October and also next month November Ghana ye be launchi ye credit scoring system in Ghana. The whole of Africa, only one country has that credit scoring system in sub-Saharan Africa, and in South Africa. Ghana will be the second country in Africa to have a credit scoring system.
He also pledged to establish district agricultural mechanization centers to boost productivity, drawing a comparison to the DRIP initiative.
And now, Usha, yedi fidie akko district bia under the district road improvement program. District bia ewa excavator, ewa grader, ewa roller, ewa backhoe, ewa tipper truck. Ninyina, saa ye no mi be shishe district agric mechanization center. Me the efidie every district bia koma equiafo in every district. So said no for the roads no ye be yen sa for every district. Near the tractors, ye the combined harvesters, ye the efidie bebre every district. Na equiafo here no more kofa akoye ejuma no more sign the aba na eboa obia.
Addressing the issue of high electricity bills, the NPP flag bearer criticized the country's over-reliance on fossil fuels for power generation. He promised to diversify the energy mix by adding 2,000 megawatts of solar power to the national grid.
Ye kra oil and gas, free amanone ye electricity wa Ghana. Oil and gas no so ne broso wasro. Enti ye de ba na light bill no akosro. Me pese Ghana yesesa sa anhihye no. Me pese medi yefa oil and gas no etu chain and go for solar power. Solar power. Solar power. Ewie to generate electricity. Ushe ewiesi nyina maya omotimidi electricity buono eba from no. Solar power kan ho pa. Na ene Ghana ha ye consuming less than 4,000 megawatts. Me pese me di 2,000 megawatts of solar power. Ebeka ye generation mix no.
The NPP flag bearer also urged voters to reject the NDC's flag bearer John Mahama at the polls. Carlos Caloni for Joy News.
Now, the elections are just 50 days away and the campaigns are on high swing, but not with some light moments. Prince Kudoga brings you a catalogue of some of those moments in the following report.
Start from here.
That's the issue we have with the Electoral Commission. Sometimes they are discriminatory because there are some people on this ballot paper who Bernard Mona qualifies more to be here than those people. And I know it will provoke controversy, but I mean it.
Well, this did not sit well with some of the candidates on the ballot paper. It's been a busy week for President Akufo-Addo and NDC's flag bearer, John Mahama. The two have been trading barbs over the ongoing battle against illegal mining.
Mr. J.M., where do you stand? What are you telling the people of Ghana? Because every time you speak from one corner of your mouth and you speak from another corner of your mouth.
And he's not in this country or he has been sleeping. So he should just tell his Flagstaff House media to get him the tape of what I said at the University of Energy and Natural Resources.
And if you thought the president was going to let Mahama have the last word, think again.
Why is John Mahama running away from the debate? Bawumia says he's ready any day for the debate. Why is Mahama running away from the debate?
Of course, John Mahama wasn't going to stay silent. He had a witty comeback ready for the president.
Their campaign is failing. They have no message. And so he wants to be elevated to my level. No. I know my level.
One thing is for sure. When you are aiming for the highest office, you've got to be ready to do it all, even if it means speaking the language of the streets.
The thing is me, where the politics, the thing where they my heart, no, it be the people are where they suffer for the country. It be where they my heart. Me, I be patron of Lepers Aid Ghana. Me then lepers, we they eat, we they drink, because they want help. Me, I be farm laborer before, by day worker. I be taxi driver before. So my heart is day the street.
Prince Kwame Kudiga's reports for Joy News.
Interested there. But before we go, let's take you to My Joy Online. Some stories there. As you can see, the 4 ousted MPs, Speaker must respect court ruling to stay execution. That's coming from Afenyo Markins. And the story we just brought to you, woman shot dead in Galamsey Pit at Nyamia Dome. As well as other stories, the NDC MPs, they were planning to repeal e-levy as they took over Parliament. We don't know where they are with that particular arrangement now, as well as a recent accident regarding Bishop Salif Wamwako's children, among other stories. So you can go to myjoyonline.com to read more of these stories. My name is Carlos Kaloni. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.